to the captain's quarters.
Alright. Nobody's dead yet. I'm just saying, though, if anyone here dies of coronavirus, we will be using that to go viral on, like, that. I just want to get that out of the way.
I'm okay with that. I got no problem with that at all.
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to use your body for science.
Please profit off of me.
You have to show the progression, though. Like, there, you have to have a recording of, like, oh, man, my throat's been bothering me these last couple of days.
Just 24/7 recordings of somebody with coronavirus.
Yeah.
The progress is going to be that, oh, my throat's bothering me, and then the next one's just you dead.
Just you jerking off violently in the bathroom.
I can't breathe for some reason. I think it's the pollen.
There's an awful lot of ranch in my desk.
I normally can taste my semen, but for some reason I can't right now. Anyways, welcome to the captain's quarters. That was a hell of an intro. I think that's a good jumping off point. Starting off, you have your Captain Milne here. We have Cattle Pleasurer, which is Kalen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
We
weird
did a
name.
bad job of introducing people on the first podcast. So I'm going to do a really good job and emphasize this is Kalen talking. This is Cattle Pleasure. Kalen,
Yeah.
you're supposed to say, "Oh, hey, it's."
Yeah, I know.
Did you just turn a fan on or something, Hunter?
No. Oh, you know what? My fucking air purifier's on.
You
Wow.
have an air purifier?
Yeah, I've got problems with my allergies, Ryan. You got a problem with that?
Is it you gonna put it next to your sauna?
Yeah, dude. I am. And then I'm going to laugh at you for not having a sauna.
Okay.
The one giving criticisms is everyone's favorite Crash Carl, or as we call him, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put everyone down.
Yeah, Ryan's the critic of the podcast.
Yeah.
And we have a new addition. Ancient of Days Davis couldn't be here. But we have a member that we want to add on as a permanent member. It is your very own Codeine Coding, or as we call him, Hunter.
No need for applause.
Yeah.
You aren't
Who,
gonna
as you might have heard, used his Trump bucks to purchase his own sauna.
Again, no need for applause.
His phone booth sauna.
Yeah, it's a one-person infrared sauna, and I'm
With
very
only
happy
the
about
most
that purchase.
advanced CD players.
Yeah, there's an FM radio inside of it, so that's pretty cool.
Does it come with the Fleshlight add-on, or is that a separate package?
No. That's you got to order that, and I opted out of that because it just sounds like it's going to be a hassle to keep it clean. But
I mean, that's fair.
semen and
That'd
heat.
be a very moist environment for that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to leave that out of the sauna. And,
I do want to call you out here for a second, Hunter. For somebody that said, hey, I've only been working from home, so there's nothing interesting going on in my week, you just pre-ordered a fucking sauna. What do you mean nothing is interesting going on?
Well, you see, that's the thing, is I live such a baller lifestyle that just,
Oh, that's just normal for you?
that's just Wednesday. I've got 6 saunas in my garage already. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, Kalen, or Cattle Pleasure. What did you do this week?
Well, I'm still working. Someone died at work this week, and still going strong. Still not.
Wait, is that
still
the
not
person
dead.
that had corona?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, still working. Still being essential, unlike these nerds. And
I'm still essential.
everything's grand.
Did they tell you in an email, or like what happened? What was the protocol for that?
Oh, no, that they got called out during a management meeting, and then they had to say something.
Oof.
They were dead?
That they were wondering. So I can't remember exactly what they said, but they essentially trapped him.
I thought you were talking about the deceased was called out.
No, they're saying.
Yeah, they put out a challenge.
Yeah,
I didn't know what the scene was. I didn't know if they like burst out of the bathroom like I'm dying and
I'm
flung
dead.
shit all over and then just like died in the middle of the
Yeah.
warehouse.
That's how I was picturing it.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Unfortunately, not.
But and you also said that a couple people at your place, or at least your office, you don't work in an office. At least your factory had it, didn't you?
Yeah, we have still single digits confirmed cases, but single digits is still a lot. I think we're going to learn a lot from this whole thing. I think a lot of things are going to be changing.
See, I feel like that. I feel like that happens every single time something serious happens, and then it just goes back to like nothing ever happens.
Oh yeah, for sure. All it's got me thinking too is that if this shit was like Ebola, like we'd all be dead. Like it's just
absolutely.
It's just not being taken seriously at all.
Yeah, well, everyone's played the game Pandemic, right? You don't want to have the death symptoms.
Your mortality rate cannot be high because the disease won't spread. If
Exactly.
It, have a high
it has to be
period.
like you have to find a fine balance with mortality. Too high, it doesn't spread. Too low, and it's just the common cold.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, people around me here in bumfuck Georgia aren't taking it seriously at all. Everyone's just chilling, partying, like just hanging out.
I really can't believe that it's like being politicized. Like I really, like that just shows the degree to which America has just kind of fallen into just pure tribalism. Like just the idea that we can't even rally behind the fact that like, okay, we can put politics aside for this. This is like a virus. They don't like. The virus doesn't care if you're right or left. Like, it just doesn't make sense that people are still trying to own the libs with their lives. Like,
see, but I mean, it's also like the opposite thing. I mean, I don't even think it's fair to say own the libs because, like, I've definitely heard Democrats saying, "Oh, well, I can't wait for the older generation to diet from coronavirus so we can start getting more leftist politicians in."
Yeah, I mean
it's fucked.
It's just gross.
I mean, what it does is it's bringing out the worst in a lot of people. I mean, even if you're looking at these price gougers or stuff like that, honestly, what it's doing is showing who's really the disgusting, toxic human and who actually gives a fuck about other people.
Yeah, but nothing's going to change.
No, nothing's going to change.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But, like, you can look at your neighbor who threw, like, a block party, like, yesterday, like mine, and you could be like, all right, well, that guy's kind of just a huge piece of shit, so, like, let's not associate with him anymore.
Yeah, my neighbors have started, like, having people over, doing shit in their front lawn. Like Texas, I don't even think Texas is really even, like, officially kind of pulled things back a little bit. I think Austin's still on lockdown until May 8th. But, I mean, people are just, like, I really think people are seeing, Georgia and other places open up already, and they're like, this shit's over. Like,
yeah, but they say open up. Apparently, Georgia opened up on Friday, but no places, even near me, where people don't believe in it, nobody's opening their dining rooms yet.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah, like they were just given the government. The governor said you can do this now, but all the mayors are pretty much saying go fuck yourself. And the ultimate authority goes to whoever owns that restaurant.
Yeah,
if they don't want to open, then they don't open. It's
pretty interesting though because like. My dad owns a restaurant. He's doing the same thing where like he's not bringing everybody back yet. They're only doing takeout. We have a really good friend that's the general manager of a really big pizza chain in a really popular area who's also saying they're not opening up dining area and stuff. But the fact that the governor of Georgia has made the restaurants quote unquote open again, they're saying now that the unemployment benefits that the restaurant employees were making, they're going to start crawling those back now that they're technically open.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? I mean, it's all... let's not sit here and pretend like the guy whose office is 1.5 miles away from the CDC, who, as of 3 weeks ago, didn't know that you could be asymptomatic with this disease, knows anything about this disease. Yeah. Brian Kemp is essentially the straight Joe Exotic. And if this just shows that he literally does no idea what he's doing, he's probably hyped up on some kind of substance, and he's probably getting paid some back-end deal by somebody to reopen these so the government can stop paying people for doing nothing, because that's the worst thing in the world is, God forbid, people want to be at home with their families and being able to, like, pay their bills.
Yeah, they're literally taking the financial aspect of it away from the government and putting it back on small business. And I mean, it's not going to work.
Well, especially when you look at all these small businesses, you see like all these businesses like that. What's that steak joint that took like $50 million or some bullshit?
Ruth's
Ruth's
Chris.
Ruth's, yeah, whatever the fuck they're called. Them and a few other places are like, oh well, we'll give the money back, and it's like that's great, but for these 4 to 6 weeks that these other small businesses didn't even, if you split that up into 10 different payments to 10 different way smaller restaurants, that's going to get them through a month and a half. So okay, it's great you're paying it back. That's still not going to save this business that 4 weeks ago wouldn't have had to close their doors.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, going back to the friend that we all know that is the GM of a big pizza restaurant, it's a national chain, but he also got that small business, like they got that money. So, I mean, I don't know. It seems like the money was just kind of handed out willy-nilly to a lot of places that don't need it. And I mean, people like my dad, he told me he just recently finished paying off a loan that he took out in 2009 during that financial crisis. And he said that he would never do it again. So, I mean, this could literally shut down my family's restaurant. And It's because, fucking Ruth's Chris needs $16 million or whatever. Fucking Shake Shack, I think they gave it back. And I think that kind of got the ball rolling. I think Ruth's Chris actually gave back like 10 or 15 million bucks. But I don't know, man.
It just comes back to...
So is Ruth's Chris the super high-end steak?
Yeah.
And they have like 3 restaurants or something?
You gotta have like a certain...
No, they have more than 3
when
restaurants.
you go in there.
Yeah, cufflinks only.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's the place I'm thinking. Also, their name is stupid. I just want that on the record.
Ruth.
You know the origin of their name?
It's Ruth's possessive plural or possessive Chris.
You know the origin of that?
No, not at all.
So there was a steakhouse called Chris's Steakhouse, and it went out of business. And a woman named Ruth bought it, and it still had Chris on the sign out front, and she just stapled her name on it. So it's
all
just
right. I can respect that.
Chris
I like
Steakhouse.
Big fuck you.
That's terrible.
So
no,
I
like that. I'm okay with it now.
yeah, she just said fuck it.
How do you feel about the Karen mayor in Texas leaving quarantine to go get her nails done, Hunter?
I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I other than the fact I also saw it on Reddit, but it just goes back to I really think like our news cycle of just burn them and turn them, like the idea that this could last, the CDC is saying we shouldn't be gathering for 18 months. I think people are just have such a short attention span these days that like 1 month and we're already like, what's next? Like this is still something that it's still serious. People are still fucking dying. And I feel like it's just hit that 1 month period where we're like, what else is on? Like, I don't think people are really caring about this anymore.
Well, and I think the most dangerous part of that is if round 1 goes and there's I don't know, is United States at like 50,000 deaths so far or something like that? If round 1 goes by and we get to like 60, 70,000 and then every break quarantine, I honestly think round 2 is going to be even worse because people that haven't been affected by it are just going to be like, oh, well, it was just a huge, I think I got it, but it just gave me like allergy-like symptoms. So it's not a big deal. And it's just going to add fuel to the fire of like the anti-vaxxer conspiratard theories. And so it's just going to be it's going to lend itself more to the hoax of, this isn't real. This is just big government trying to take away our rights and stuff like that. I honestly think that the second wave of this might kill more people than the first.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah,
because you can only schedule a quarantine once, right? Yep. Once you say stay in for a month, 2 months, or whatever, you can't say, all right, actually that was the wrong time. Everyone do what they want to do for another 2 weeks, and then let's go back into quarantine. No, you've got like 2 months of gas, and once you use that, people aren't going to be so obedient. And you could already tell with all the protests going on that we're running out of gas for maybe a very vocal minority, but still, nevertheless, they're starting.
Well, I also think the government's scared of it becoming a thing where, let's say this goes on for 8 months. This quarantine goes on for 8 months, and we pay out, even if it's still the $1,200 a month for 8 months, what stops the legislator from universal basic income like Yang was trying to propose? Like, if we notice that the government, without struggling, without anything else being affected by this, the government could just willy-nilly give out $1,200 to everyone with a social security number, and that's a legal citizen. What's going to stop people from bringing up, hey, like, why could you guys do that so easily? Why would this not be a continued thing going forward?
Well, I think there's a couple of... They could defend that pretty easily by saying that it's a temporary solution, and it did affect us. We had to cut this, this, and this, and we have a treasury that has money that we were depleting. It's like taxes. It's money going in and money going out. We were just accumulating and had this stock. I don't know if that's the case, but I think they could explain that one away.
I guess.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you alive?
Yeah.
How was your week, buddy?
My week? It was a good one. I mean, as far as, like, normal stuff, I'm still in school. I got finals next week, so that's going to suck.
Hell yeah.
You know, just doing online shit, knocking out homework, studying when I have any sort of motivation to, which is hard to come by nowadays.
Oh, dude, I bet.
I find myself being extremely lazy all the time.
Are you guys on pass-fail?
Pass-fail?
Like, did they remove letter grades for this semester and moved it to just pass-fail classes?
Nope, there's still letter grades.
Wow, is that a thing that many people are doing?
Yeah, I think it seems to be the most vocal on the Georgia Tech subreddit. I keep track of like all the university subreddits in Georgia just to keep a pulse on that, and it seems like the Georgia Tech subreddit is the main vocal voice for.
Wow.
So then, how do you evaluate like a GPA at that? Do they just do it after the fact?
I don't think you do. I think it's just like I think they're just doing it for this semester. But I mean, who knows? Because I think I've also seen a lot of college campuses say they're potentially not going to have in-person classes during the summer and for the next fall semester. So I mean, who knows? But
yeah,
I think a lot of universities outside of the state of Georgia have been moving to pass-fail. Like I think like a lot of the Ivies and like NYC, I think University of Virginia, maybe I don't know, but I think a lot of colleges have moved to pass-fail to kind of alleviate some of the stress during all of this. And then I think Georgia Tech has just been kind of like, at least from what I've seen on the subreddit, just like, fuck you guys, like work harder.
Yeah, do you think that'd be better to have pass-fail? Like I never went to college. So as a college student, do you think it'd be more stressful or less stressful to have pass-fail?
Dude, I don't know. I can't, dude.
It depends on how it affects my GPA.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's going to push me closer to a 4.0, why not?
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's going to affect your numerical GPA. I think it's just going to be like you satisfied the needs for this class this semester during this circumstance. Like, I don't think it's going to be affecting your numerical GPA.
I think the change occurred halfway through spring semester. So if you're like a reasonable student, you're like A or B or whatever student, you already went through maybe your midterm maybe and all the tests prior to that, and you got like a B or A or whatever, and then it changes to pass fail. Now I'm looking at it saying, wait, hold on a moment, I just had an A or a B and I was going to pass fail. I could easy. I just need to average like a 50% and I'm golden. I think I would see a drastic
decline in motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then on the other end, I'm sure people are pissed that are like, you know, trying to get into an Ivy for med school or something. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, all this work that I put in for the first 2 months of the semester just means jack shit, I guess.
Right. Yep. Well, you know, I was talking to somebody recently. She's going for like physical therapy to be a physical therapist. And she was like, and she's nearing the end of her like tenure. And she's like, and it brings to the point, like Davis was working with dead bodies, identifying stuff, doing anatomy. Think of all these people that are about to graduate, and you want to already talk about the insane learning curve from looking at bodies and like, you know, and studying them for anatomy. and then actually going and doing like a taxidermy or actually going into physical therapy and working on somebody's body. What if you're about to graduate and you don't have physical classes for the next 8 months and you have to try to learn how to do physical therapy where you're working on people's bodies through pictures or through like, even if it gets it as advanced as a VR software, like not being able to work on an active person. I can't imagine how detrimental that is to your learning.
Nah, there's no way that works. Like, I got a degree in computer science, and I mean, I could 100% have done practically all of it online because all of it was just staring at a computer anyway. But
Right.
like what you said earlier, Davis saying that, you know, he was taking anatomy this semester and like all of his labs don't mean anything anymore. Like, and I mean,
They're
how do
cutting a
how do
picture.
how do any labs mean anything? Like, how do you do a chemistry lab from home? How do you do an organic chemistry lab from home? Like, you can't. So you're going to miss out on that. And that's, if you want to go into chemistry, I mean, that's like the bedrock of chemistry.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Like, what do you do? Do you like legitimately like? Do you get refunded that and just later on
and
after
just have
this
to
is
take it.
over,
Like,
you relearn?
I feel like that would be
yeah.
the responsible thing to do. Like, you can't be a chemist without taking organic chem labs. Like,
Hey,
that's,
they can still do baking soda volcanoes.
yeah. I mean, I get you're just doing that week by week.
Well, at least they have refunded us a lot of money on stuff that we were supposed to be able to access in class, so that's been kind of
Oh
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Which they
geometry.
should. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, outside of paying for Zoom Premium and like maybe textbook access, is there really anything that you should be paying for right now?
Oh,
You're not paying to keep their lights on right now. You're not paying for sports teams right now. You're not paying for
Yeah.
faculty. Well, kind of, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, this is a decent refund, so I mean, at least that's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, it's going to be almost mandatory for some people because a lot of people don't have a suitable computer, especially, I mean, if it's maybe video conferencing, you could just get like $100 Chromebook. But if you want
right.
to actually do something on it, like for some classes, you might need a little more powerhouse of a computer to run certain programs or whatever, even maybe through a VM. I don't know exactly, but a lot of people just don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think
Or was it? It was like Chicago or Detroit or something. Chartered like 50,000 school buses and equipped them with Wi-Fi, with Wi-Fi hardware, and set them out so people that didn't have internet at home could like do classwork.
Yeah, Austin did that too.
Which is an absolutely tremendous idea, but like that's crazy.
Yeah. I've got a elementary school at the front of my neighborhood, and it seems like during all of this, they've just been like a donations pickup area. Like, you can go and get lunch there and stuff. Like, that's just all it's turned into, is just kind of like a bag lunch mill.
That's weird. It's crazy how like affected some areas are and how like absolutely unaffected others can be.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing any of this. Like, I work at home. Like, the only time I go out is if I'm going to go like pick up groceries or something like that. So like, I don't necessarily like. The only thing that's changed in my life is like, wow, hey, there's a lot less traffic now, or hey, that's, you know, people are wearing masks now, or hey, there's a weird police tape outside the Walmart for like people to go in a few at a time. So I'm not necessarily seeing it as much as some of these other people are. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine. It must be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty wild stuff.
It's really weird being like I'm a software developer, so I can do everything from home, and they have us doing everything from home, but I'm also tied to like a manufacturing sector that's like trying desperately to get people back into the factory, because without it, like, we're literally going to, like, they're saying, you know, we've got 2 months of solid money until things really get shaky. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because they're definitely telling us more and more that they're going to start bringing people back into factories. And you know, I don't know if that's too early. I don't know if, because I think it'll be a huge PR nightmare if they bring people back to the factories and then like an outbreak happens at the factory and then they have to end up closing the factory again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what. And I feel like there's a big liability aspect to this too. I feel like companies aren't going to be able to bring people back. Like it's going to be a race to see who's going to be bringing people back into their office first, and then just kind of watching to see what they do. And if, God forbid, somebody in the office gets exposed and then ends up passing away, I feel like the company's liable for bringing them back into an unsafe workworkplace.
I feel like we're going to see a lot of that after this. A lot of lawsuits.
Oh, the amount of lawsuits are going to be insane.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's not going to be a nationwide class action lawsuit for like the mesothelioma bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
There's absolutely going to be one for Corona.
Yeah, 100%. And
the company I used to work for that my roommate currently works at, they deemed themselves essential even though they run budget furniture. And they are running a thing right now where if you don't miss more than I think a day or two in the next 40 days, you get a $500 bonus.
Is your life worth $500?
So for a lot of people that in this area, bumfuck Georgia, which a lot of people are either irresponsible with their money or have bills or what have you, that $500 goes a long way. But at the same time, you're encouraging somebody that's showing symptoms to come to work to get that $500.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think people are taking masks seriously. I don't think a majority of people understand that wearing a mask isn't to protect you, but to protect others if you're sick.
Why would they care about other people? I mean, time and time again, it's shown that people literally just don't care about other people. Yeah. And if it's affecting them, that's when they actually start to care.
Oh, yeah, man. And I just don't know what's going to happen with all this, man, because I don't think we're at the end of it. I don't think we're anywhere close to the end of it. And I think bringing people back to the workplace and saying that we are close to the end of it, I think it's just because like they're saying they're going to, fever check everybody. They're going to check your temperature before you're allowed in the office building. But we hear time and time again that you can be asymptomatic for, 10 days. You could be asymptomatic for the entire time that you have it. You could just think you have allergies and you could infect, 150, 200 people. And then those people can go on and, it just seems so
literally,
stupid.
If you don't look at Corona the same way you look at the flu, you're an idiot.
I mean, even...
You don't have to be a fever. You don't have to be throwing up to be a carrier of the flu.
And I mean, people are saying, like, this can permanently affect your lungs. There's...
And especially, it was funny because not funny. They found out that when this started really getting cases in America, they found out that it affected a lot of blood clots in younger people. Or sorry, it's causing blood clots, which is part of the reason why your lungs are getting so damaged, is because they're getting filled with these blood clots. And they really didn't start to notice this until they got to America because of our obesity problem. And people with diabetes or high blood pressure, it's just compounding it further and further. And then when you look at those blood problems, that's why you're reading about these strokes in younger people, is because of their blood issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? On that same vein, this. Oh God, there's a pun there.
Oh yeah, you feel good about that one?
No,
Caleb?
Pretty good.
No. I can't remember what his name was, unfortunately, but I think like Jason something, Broadway star apparently, lost a leg due to Corona, which I don't know the biomechanics to that, but it might be related to the blood clots or something.
Oh yeah, blood clotting in legs is definitely a very common thing in athletes, and if there's anything that's going to exacerbate that, especially if you, think of how many people have pre-existing conditions that they don't know about just because, hey, my knees have been hurting. Is that a pre-existing condition, or is that just something that fucking happened? I mean, some things you just learn to live with, and it's really something you should get checked out. And again, you could tie it back into that, at what cost, like how many people can afford to go to the doctor for stuff that they think is a common ailment versus the thing of just dealing with it and just getting over it.
Yeah.
So, and, that's a whole argument.
I know, like, a lot of people are losing their lives to this and all that stuff, but, man, a Broadway star where that's his career, is being a Broadway star, and then he loses a leg to it. That's career ending, and that must be awful. Absolutely awful.
Well, especially when you look at, you expect, if somebody's in their, 80s or 90s, you expect it to happen, and that's where it's all... I don't want to say one's more tragic than the other, obviously, but I mean, 20-something-year-olds in the prime of their life getting permanent lung damage or permanent damage to their body that they could possibly carry with them for 60 more years versus somebody who's, lived out most of their life. You can't compare it, but one's, you could argue one's more tragic than the other. But
yeah, when we start talking about, who's more tragic when they die during this, I mean, that's when we shouldn't be fucking opening up the country. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
What the fuck are we doing? Why? It just doesn't make sense, and I feel like it's just going to be an error that is literally going to get people killed and is only going to extend all this bullshit. So I mean,
this is going to be edgy, but there's actually a pretty fitting Marilyn Manson lyric that fits times like these. And it's the death of one is a tragedy, but the death of millions, people just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because, you could see 50,000 on a screen, but Caitlin, I think you brought up, I was rewatching clips, I was doing the April highlights, and you had brought up that, people can't fathom beyond the number, 200.
Yeah.
When it comes to, a unit.
Yeah.
So 50,000 is just a number to people. Unless, it's one thing to see 50,000 people dead laying in a field. It's a different thing just to see a number scrolling by on CNN.
Yeah, you can visualize what 20 football fields is, but you can't visualize what 200,000 footballs are. You have to convert it. And
I don't know if you guys remember back when Ebola first came in and they had the people up in New York and they shut down 4 city blocks. And you saw the people going in with the hazmat suits, and they cordoned off an entire wings of the hospitals for 3 people. Now, granted, Ebola is insanely more. I think the mortality rate for Ebola is crazy compared to Corona, if I recall. But
something like that. The easiest way, I think, you can't really convert lives lost into much, but you could probably convert it into a town. I think the death toll is something like 50,000 right now. And at that point, you could probably get up to a name of a town. Our hometown might be 50,000. I don't know. I don't know what it would be. But just trying to find a town close to you that has a population of around 50,000 and then erase it. Just in the past 2 months, I think maybe it's up to 3 months now, that town that used to have shops, used to have grocery stores, farmers, whatnot, is just gone. It's a field now.
Yeah. Anyways, Ryan, was that the end of your week?
Not even close.
Oh, shit.
All right. Anyways, I think we should move on from this sad, depressing coronavirus.
Let's get away from the coronavirus. I'm tired of talking about it.
That's fair.
Anyways, so last week when I was talking about my week, I had mentioned that I had listened to the Insane Clown Posse's debut album.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but still, I decided I'm going to press on and keep listening to these albums. And so this week, I listened to Ringmaster, which is their second studio album. And I got to say, I appreciated it a lot more. And I believe this album was actually their first mention of Faygo, or drinking Faygo, because I didn't hear it in their first one. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to it. But I think this is the first mention of Faygo, and from what I understand, this is when they started spraying the crowd with Faygo. It was during this time period. This was 1994, the year that I was born. Some of the highlights on the album for me were "Get Off Me Dog," "Funhouse," "For the Maggots," "Love Song." Those were bangers, but I think the two biggest, the winners, the absolute stars, and I might return and listen to these again, were "Chicken Hunting" and "Bugs on My Nugs." Bugs on My Nugs is the great one. It's about having sex with a really dirty girl, and you get bugs on your nugs. And probably the best part of this song was the actual bugs that were on their nugs were the ones that were doing the chorus in this song.
Wow.
Bugs singing about don't you be banging them gay dogs, because you gonna get us on your nugs. It's pretty great. And then Chicken Hunting was just about them man, I really want a chopped chicken sandwich right now. And so they went to a restaurant. The guy's like, we don't have any chopped chicken. So all right, well, let's go get some chicken. And so they went chicken hunting with machetes and killed them. was a very violent album. Talked to
You're trying to tell me that Popeyes didn't jump all over that when Popeyes released their chicken sandwich?
They should have. Chicken hunting should have been the.
Dude, that would have been great.
Song, yeah. So yeah, that was Ringmaster. I much preferred this one over the first one. I believe next is Riddlebox is the name of their next album, so I'll be listening to that this week, and continuing my transformation into a full-on juggalo. Pretty excited.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. It's a shame that we're not going to have the gathering of the well, obviously with stuff going on. It's kind of sad that we've really started to embrace the juggalo lifestyle.
I know, right? I was excited for the gathering this year.
I absolutely would have gone with you,
dude. I'd love to go.
That would be amazing.
That's a good time. And while on the topic of trashy white trash things, do you remember last week when I was talking to you about WrestleMania? And I had mentioned... Yeah.
You never got into day 2.
Yeah. I'm not going to worry about that because it's not that important.
That's fair.
But do you remember how I mentioned how Undertaker and Kayfabe had killed 2 people?
Yes.
So during this whole coronavirus stuff, WWE cut a bunch of their wrestlers, and 2 of the people that they cut were the ones that Undertaker killed in Kayfabe. So in Kayfabe, he actually murdered these people, and they are gone. They are never coming back. Undertaker actually murdered 2 people.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
And to be fair, one of the CEOs of the company date raped somebody and got them to marry him. Who is
actually, it's funny. They just had Triple H's 25-year, his 25 years of wrestling. They were celebrating on SmackDown, and Shawn Michaels came out and they sort of did like a breaking kayfabe kind of thing, and he mentioned that, and Triple H got super flustered. It was pretty fun. Also, I was kind of hoping Davis would be here because something that I've been obsessing over for the past 2 weeks has been Chris Chan. Like, obsessing. Hardcore. I've been watching hundreds of YouTube videos, been reading so many online articles, and I know Davis is familiar with him, so I was hoping that we could bounce off each other on that, but I guess I'll wait till next week before I talk about that.
I have no idea what this is. I've just heard you guys talk briefly about it.
It's fucking crazy. Let's just say it's probably the most documented person on the internet, and it's not even close. Like this
more
guy
than Joe Exotic?
Oh, way more. Like Joe Exotic is not even. This guy has literally been documented from like the day he was born until like now, and he's gone absolutely insane because of it. He's also autistic, so it's like there's a whole lot going into that. So I'll wait till next week to talk about that because I got a lot to say about it. And I guess to finish it, I've been watching a lot of Star Wars and stuff. I'm trying to watch all the Star Wars like movies and TV shows in chronological order, including like all the animated series.
Clone Wars and all that.
Yes, I'm in the middle of Clone Wars right now, and that show is fucking phenomenal. It like makes.
Still have never seen it.
What the show?
Yeah,
you should watch it. If you're interested in Star Wars at all, I highly recommend it. It's
I'm waiting. Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming to I think Netflix next month.
Yeah, but all you need to do is watch them like the live action movie, and that's all you need.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
The M. Night Shyamalan one. It's pretty good.
I was thinking about something the other day, Ryan. Not speaking of Avatar. Do you remember when you got your parents? Because this is back in the day of the Xbox 360, where all of us were competing super hardcore to get the highest gamer score.
Yeah.
You, Nick, and I especially went hard trying to get the highest gamer score than the other ones.
Yeah.
You bought the Avatar game for the explicit reason that you got 1,000 gamer score within 15 minutes of playing.
I did not buy the game. I was given the game by Garrison because he said, "Do you want 1,000 free gamer score?" I said, "Yes, I would like that." And so I bought. He gave it to me. I think I still have it. I'm actually still pretty salty. I don't have my original gamer tag. It has disappeared. I don't.
What the double one?
Yeah. The gamer tag I use now is different than the original. So that's 20,000 achievement points that are just gone that I'll never get back.
So
yeah, that's pretty upsetting.
So who won?
I mean, I don't even remember.
Well,
I think I might have won.
At the time, I remember
then Tommy probably
that's where I was at. And that's where I'm at on my new one now. So I know I'd have at least like 40,000 achievement points if I still had it.
Right. I think I got up to like 40,000 at one point.
Yeah,
I know
you
like the
probably
shit out of a lot of. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, that's it. Yeah, you got me.
I still remember there was some kid who came into one of our Xbox Live lobbies who had like 10,000 gamer or like 100,000 gamer points, and he was like trying to get our accounts so he could put like gamer points and stuff on it. And then he ended
yeah, dude. I remember
the same
all
night.
the time back in the day. Like people used to scam the shit out of other people. There was a kid named Chris that we went to school with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one with
That was the one, dude.
Yeah, we were just chilling. He was amazing at Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare. And I would just chill in lobbies with him while he found like these like 9-year-olds to come in, and he would just scam the shit out of them for Microsoft points, saying he'd prestige their accounts. And then they'd send him like 1,500 Microsoft points, and he'd say like, fuck you, kid. And he'd like block the kid and kick him out of the call.
He actually
And that happened like 5 times a day, every day.
he actually did prestige my account.
Oh yeah, he prestiged mine too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I gave him like $10 in person.
hilarious. I respect the hustle.
So I was one of those kids that got scammed.
I mean, you didn't get scammed though. I mean, you got the prestige.
Yeah, that was an investment right there.
Yeah, I guess.
Think about how much pussy you got because you had that fucking 10th prestige
Girls,
tag.
I bet the
bro.
girls loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I did. Yeah. So it did change my life, but
Honestly, you probably wouldn't be pre-ordering Asana right now if you hadn't prestiged your account back then.
yep. That's that was the moment that I knew that I deserved a sauna in life.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Shout out to Chris, everyone.
Thanks, Ruth's Chris.
Yeah, through
Thanks for
Chris
Oh
Steakhouse.
God,
All right, well that's the end of my week.
Hunter, what did you do?
Well, I mean, nothing as entertaining as Ryan, but
You didn't listen to any Juggalo albums?
no, but I definitely can't wait to hear how all that unfolds because I hope you just completely dive headfirst in and you get the tattoos and everything.
I'm only on
Oh yeah,
album
I can't
two.
wait
There's
to see him on
14 albums.
stream like in full Juggalo makeup.
Dude, I would love nothing
Dude, maybe.
more.
We'll see.
I'd love
We'll see,
nothing
dude.
more.
Because honestly, I wasn't a fan of the first one, and this one I'm like, kind of like this.
Dude, the next
I think it's because I wasn't as willing to accept it. Like I didn't get it, and so this week I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like just let it as like the ridiculous. I'm gonna let it flow. I'm gonna.
Oh, you got to take
it
the
for
blinders
what it
off
is.
for sure.
And I let it happen. I'm like, you know what? Some of these are kind of catchy. Bugs on my nugs, man. I might, maybe that should just be our intro track. That'd be pretty cool.
Bugs for yeah.
Bugs on my nugs, man. I'll contact the clowns, see if they'll let us have it.
yeah, hop on that. Maybe they'll sponsor the show.
What if I can?
Wow.
What if I reach out? What's the name? Murder J? It's Murder J and
Shaggy Two Dope. Yeah.
Yeah. What if I reach out to Shaggy Two Dope and I'm like, can we use Bugs on my nugs? And they give us like full permission. Would you do it?
Could we possibly be the official Blood Nation and the official Juggalo stream?
I'm curious. Do you think there's any overlap between like the Crips, the Bloods, and the Juggalos?
Absolutely
100%. 100%, dude.
Absolutely not.
Dude,
no way.
fucking Blind Fury. You know who Blind Fury is?
Is he
Absolutely
a blood
not.
Juggalo?
Yeah, not even kidding.
Okay. Oh, I love it. I love the Juggalos. I love everything about them.
I don't think they should be on the FBI's most wanted list.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that's the
I think
dumbest.
they need to worry about a
If
lot.
anything, that's like peak '90s government, though, dude.
Is that real or is that just kind of like?
Yeah, they're
oh,
literally like they're
Didn't
They're-
they like classified the Juggalos as like a terrorist organization or
absolutely
something?
they're up there with like the Bloods and the Crips in terms of like gangs on the FBI's list.
It's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Which, I mean, maybe not as violent, but if you want to talk about like drug usage, I'd say they're probably I'd say even pushing further than some of them. But I don't think like drug usage necessarily dictates that you're a terrorist group.
Nah, dude, they're just drinking Fago and smashing their heads on signs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I really hope next time I come back to Georgia, Ryan, you've got like the really, really big jeans and like the really black baggy shirt with the Juggalo thing, and you've
Got
got
my necklace on.
Yeah.
The,
you've got a bike
whatever
lock
they
like
call it.
chained to you, and you got the full face paint.
yeah. We'll see.
that'd be
We'll see.
beautiful.
Yeah, I expect
Like
it.
the spiked up hair.
We'll see.
That'd be beautiful, right? That'd honestly be like your ultimate transformation.
I mean, I feel like you don't just like. I don't know if you're born a juggalo or not, or if it just like it happens, or. But I mean, if this music starts to take a hold of me, I mean, who knows?
Do you feel
Gray have like a lead? Does Gray have like a thing on the plug where if you're like, it's too much, pull me out, she can like unplug the headphone jack and you can like.
I'm feeling it. Ah! Feeling like juggalo.
Babe, turn on 21 Pilots.
My entire life about this. We'll see. That's all I'm saying. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not going to fight it either. We'll see what happens.
Don't fight it. Accept it.
I'm not going to fight it. It's early. It's early.
Definitely for my week, just been editing, like usual. Watched Waco, and holy shit, that's a show right there.
I loved that.
If you haven't seen Waco yet, it's a TV series from 2018 about the Branch Davidians back in 1993 having a showdown with the ATF and then the FBI. It's based off of 2 books. One of them is by one of the FBI negotiators, and one of them is by one of the survivors. I'm not going to give their names because they're in the show, and I don't want to there's spoilers. But I'm going to say who here hasn't seen the show?
I haven't seen it.
I also have not seen it, and I know nothing about Waco.
You need to watch it, man. Next week's episode, we're going to have a spoiler cast about it because I want to.
Hang on. Before you get into that, we said we were going to talk about Carol Baskins on the last one.
Kaylin, did you ever watch Tiger King?
I don't even care because we need to talk. At least give at least like 5 minutes on our opinions on Carol Baskins.
I think Carol Baskin is Hillary Clinton's secret long-lost twin.
Oh, yeah?
That's a hot take.
Yeah, because, they've got the same kind of, like, laugh-it-off kind of thing where, like, anybody questions them, like, and then they're just, I couldn't do that. Like, I don't know, man.
Kill my husband.
Sardine oil? Really? Like,
Here's my opinion on it. I don't think Carol Baskins killed her husband. Here's my crazy conspiracy theory. In the show when they're sitting down and they're interviewing what was her husband's name that died?
Oh, God.
The guy, whoever. You know how they're sitting there and they're interviewing his kids and the disgruntled ex-wife of them?
Yeah.
Go into watch that interview again with thinking in mind that the wife was the one that killed the husband, and it'll
the ex-wife.
Yes, the ex-wife.
See, I would agree with you if they got money out of it, but they didn't, so there's zero reason for them to
just watch it again. Go back and watch that interview with her and just be like, what if she was the one that killed him? And just listen to her. Talk about it. It makes so much sense to me.
I don't know. I feel like that's a little far-fetched.
I don't know, man.
Well, we also addressed the fact that, like, Carol Baskins wasn't just walking down the street. Like, there's been several people that have reported that Nebraska Avenue down in Tampa is literally where you go to pick up a prostitute.
Yeah. I mean, she was definitely. I think that's like pretty much a given.
I think without saying, every single person on that show is a huge piece of shit, except for like 4 people.
And I wouldn't be surprised if everyone was lying about everything.
Though apparently,
I don't know.
I've listened to a couple podcasts, like David Spade had a bunch of them on his show, and I listened to Theo Von had the. Who's that guy? The guy that has like in South Carolina. Who's that guy?
Oh, the fucking cult dude.
What was his name? Like John or something?
Oh, the guy, the other Tiger King?
Yeah, the other Tiger King in Myrtle Beach.
Dude, that's honestly the R. Kelly of the fucking documentary.
Well, that's the thing, though, is apparently, like, they portrayed him as being just, like, this crazy womanizer that has all these women. But, I mean, and he could be lying on Theo Von's podcast, but apparently...
Bagavon Antle.
Yeah. John.
But he was called the Doc, right?
Doc Antle. He, apparently, and according to what he said on the Theo Von podcast, the everything that they put about him in the Netflix documentary was just like a complete lie. Like those were like some of his family members. Like in that picture where like all of the women are like holding onto a leash with a tiger on it, and it's like kind of implied that these are all his kind of women,
like sex slaves.
Yeah, like apparently like one of them is his like wife's or his son's wife. One of them is his like aunt. One of them is his like apparently like. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he could be like fronting on Theo Von podcast. But apparently, He's also he is suing the producer of the movie. I think Carol Baskin's also suing the producer of Tiger King. And I mean, apparently, I don't know what to think.
But like the thing is, like I don't trust any of them. Not anyone in that.
Well, what the thing is that apparently the guy that did the documentary, like you could tell by some of the settings he was chilling with some of these people, and that he got pretty close and intimate with a lot of these people. Like that dude, what was his name? Alan Glover, that really weird dude that theoretically went down to go kill Carol Baskins. He just straight up interviewed him while he was giving himself a bath.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. There's a Tiger King subreddit, and it's fucking golden. And one of my favorite things is they zoomed in on the documentary's director's face when Carol and her husband were showing him that terrible fucking music video that they made on YouTube. And somebody fucking zoomed in on his face, and that's one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. Because that music video, how uncomfortable are you sitting in a room with somebody that is one of two people that likely killed her ex-husband, and they're showing you a video of this chick terribly singing about tigers?
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
I still want to make a meme that has Howard Baskin, her new husband, and Mitch McConnell, and then have it side by side with a picture of Luigi and Wario, because it's uncanny.
Dude, also the conspiracy theory that who's the guy that owns the park now, the douchebag guy with the
Jeff
wife.
Lowe.
Yeah, that he's Carol Baskin's ex-husband, actually.
Oh my god.
Into him.
What?
Dude, yeah, look at side-by-side pictures. They look like exactly the same person. I'm dead serious.
Did you see he did an AMA on Reddit?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But he did it. Yeah, but he did it through a website that he got paid per click on. Oh, that's so. Literally, I love the description of him as a. I love the description of him as a monster can transformed into a human.
I love seeing video of him like working in the fields of Oklahoma, wearing that fucking like the Ed Hardy shirt and like the bedazzled jeans and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, and he's got like a 22-year-old pregnant wife and like 7 different mistresses.
A little pussy gets you a lot of pussy.
God damn it. That's so gross. Dude, my favorite is that James Garretson dude, like, fuck. What was that scene where he's just zooming around on a jet ski? He's just like action shots of this fat dude just chilling on a jet ski. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just record. I'm gonna do a couple laps in the cove. Just record.
Oh god.
I will say the 3 good people out of the entirety of it were John Reinke, who was the dude that didn't have the legs.
Yeah, I like
that guy was awesome.
The chick who had her arm ripped off.
Well, it's actually a guy.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
yeah, the people on the Netflix documentary kept calling him. Well, no, the people on the Netflix documentary kept calling him she.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He is a male. He's a female to male transgender. I didn't
understand
man.
that I wish they had said. Well,
yeah, and I mean, if you only watch the documentary, they just keep calling her she.
Yeah.
Rick Kirkham, I thought was hilarious. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah,
he was the guy who's.
Yeah, I don't know how that guy's still alive. The guy who
recorded all the stuff, and all of his stuff got burnt down.
Oh yeah. Dude, do you know that you know how the Gators all got burned and stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently those were owned by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, they were Michael Jackson's Gators.
Excuse me?
Yeah. He owned
that's not too surprising because they had to probably put him somewhere when he died.
I have no idea, but apparently he owned those. Those were his Gators.
Yep.
That's crazy. It's crazy when the dude that Scarface is based on is the least crazy person in a group of people.
Oh, I know. I like that guy.
Yeah, that guy was like, okay, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I burned somebody on my property, but
exactly. He's so casual about it too.
We chopped him up in bits and we burned him, okay?
It's like they couldn't prove that I was the one to chop him up or burn him, so I got out. Like,
God damn, dude, that fucking documentary was crazy.
Yeah, man. It's
That shit was
I don't
nuts.
know who sacrificed to how many people to whatever deity that made that release happen when it did. But holy shit, that is probably going to go down as like the most watched, most like biggest phenomenon in probably TV history.
Caitlin, how have you not fucking watched this yet? I literally spent all this week saying watch the fucking show.
So I'm convinced that we're living in a simulation, and this is their test. This is their test, is making everyone talk about it,
Okay.
and that
No,
now you guys are all compromised now, and I remain pure.
Wait, do you
Oh,
think the
yeah?
coronavirus was started by Tiger King?
Oh, 100%, no doubt about it.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I
So
feel like,
Joe
I
Exotic.
don't
the
know.
one that
I
started
feel
this.
like everyone's talking about it too much. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I
Caleb,
mean,
just
it's
fucking watch
probably
it,
the
dude.
craziest thing that's
It's
ever like.
insane. It's bad shit, and it never slows down to like the very end.
Yeah, you really
It just keeps getting weirder.
every episode you watch, you just think, Jesus Christ! Like, how do some people, just tie their shoes in the morning? Like, what
That
is this?
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, and each episode, like another like 3 cars get added to the crash.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting better. I just can't even believe all this shit is like real. But like once you understand the characters, like you can totally believe it's real because they're just all assholes, every single one of them.
they're all just like the worst of
And
humanity.
they all think the other person's an asshole. But it's like, no, you look in the mirror, you're also a huge asshole. Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I like how you could flip a coin, and if whatever like side it lands on is if they talk shit about the person that was just their friend, like the last episode too.
Yeah. I will say though, Ed had like a heartbreaking ending though. When Joe Exotic has the realization that he's actually been abusing all these animals the entire time.
Oh my god, yeah, that was
That literally broke my heart.
Yeah, but how much of that
about the
was, dude?
monkeys
Let's
in the
be honest.
cage.
How much of that was an act?
Dude,
He's
I don't
just trying to
I
get
don't
sympathy
know.
points
I mean,
now,
I
so
get
he
it,
gets
but just
pardoned
like,
to get out of jail.
I don't know about that. I
Ryan,
think
I'm
at the
sitting
time, I
here
don't
right
think he had
now.
an
If you were
agenda.
threatened with 40 years in prison, you would turn your personality a 180 and do or say whatever it took to garnish sympathy.
I get it. I do think there was a certain. I think he finally realized that what he was doing was fucked up. Because at the time, it's not like he was like doing it for the show.
Well, yeah,
anymore.
being
He
clean
knew
off
he was
meth for
gonna go
longer
to
than a
jail.
month probably clears your conscience a little bit.
I mean, I guess, but God, that just even like that aside, just hearing him talk about the monkeys and how they were in a cage next to each other for 10 years. Oh God, so sad. And he's like, "Oh fuck, man. Oh, actually, they're way happier when you put them like in a cage or a big ass environment together." Oh
Fucking idiot.
God, fucking A, man.
Have you guys checked out the subreddit at all?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm just happy that
the memes are amazing.
I'm just happy that his who was his first husband, John.
Oh yeah, I'm glad.
Fucking him marrying 2 straight men was too much for me. Too.
Yeah, I'm glad he got new teeth. I think he got out of this on top.
Yeah.
He got a nice set of chompers.
Oh, did he? He got his teeth fixed.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got his tooth fixed.
yeah, they look great. I really think
God damn.
the most disturbing part of Tiger King for me was literally the video of
His second husband.
yeah, what was his name killing himself?
Yeah, oh my.
God. Yeah, like, that
what's
was
his
crazy.
name?
Dude, I
Holy
was
shit.
not expecting that at all.
Oh, it just came out of
And
nowhere.
then just
Yeah,
have fucking his
God,
campaign manager from the fucking Walmart ammo section. Those just
Yeah, Joshua was one of my favorite people in that entire documentary.
yeah.
Oh,
You know he's actually gay too.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Was
Joshua's
she banging
also.
Joe Exotic.
Have you? If you haven't, go back. They actually added an episode to Tiger King.
I saw
where,
they added it, but I just assumed it was just
Yeah,
going to be crap.
Joel McHale calls and interviews a bunch of the people afterwards, and talks about how their lives changed and different things, and just asks. It's actually a pretty decent watch.
All right, well, I'll watch it then.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He calls. That's when Josh talks about it, and dude, it's fucked up. Like it actually, because it's not necessarily a lot of the main people, but that John Rinke guy is on it, Kelsey's on it, John's on it, Rick Kirkham's on it, fucking Jeff Lowe's on it because fuck Jeff Lowe. He's gonna squeeze as much attention out of this as possible.
Dude, I bet he doesn't give a fuck. I bet he loved the show because it's
Oh,
just
he
giving him
talks
so much
about it.
attention now.
But yeah, go check out that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Go check out. They added an extra episode where it's just interviews with a lot of the side cast, and it's pretty interesting.
I didn't know that. I'll have to go look at that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we just mentioned it last week. Go ahead, Waco. Do it.
Well, we'll do Waco next week. I'll let you guys all have a chance to watch.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
All right, I'll watch Waco.
It's 6 episodes. They range from 45 minutes to I think 51. So you could easily watch it in a week. It's not. I'll say one of the more upsetting, like, because you watch shows, right? And you could typically, like, when there's a fucked up movie, you've heard about it, right? Like, oh, this is. But like, I'll say one of the more upsetting watches I've ever had in my life. Very much made me sit there and think. I'll say if you watch it, take everything with a grain of salt, though, and we'll explain that next week. I'll explain a lot of that next. Yeah. Take everything you watch on it with a grain of salt, and I'll explain why next week. But do watch it. Just go watch it. It's 6 episodes.
Should we call Trump? Can we call Trump live on air? Do we take calls?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Just give him a call.
I'll call 911.
I had some people reach out. I'm gonna start off with the Daddy Trump coming back in. I had some people reach out to me that were actually upset because I was gonna do this whole thing where I did like a Brian Kemp skit and like pretend to do like a State of the Union, but for like Brian Kemp. And I posted on the Discord that we had Brian Kemp on because I was gonna pretend to be him. I've actually had a couple people message me privately, pretty upset about the fact that I lied about Brian Kemp coming onto my show. Like I legitimately got like angry comments that were saying like, dude, I legitimately thought this guy was coming on. Like don't fucking
what's it called? Like typical like people that typically listen to this, or people that like reached out to you that you've never heard.
There was one person that kind of did, but like a lot of just older people that hadn't been around the stream, that had been around a long time ago, but only came back and watched again because like they thought I was legitimately having the fucking governor of Georgia on my.
So nobody from Brian Kemp's office reached out to you.
No, that would have been pretty funny though.
That would have been funny.
I would have liked that.
We should have trolled that hard.
But I was gonna have this whole bit. I even made my own sign with a fucking weed leaf with a line through it, and I even labeled it "No Hemp for Kemp," and I thought that was a really funny slogan. Like I put work into that, and it just fell through so hard. I was pretty upset about it. Let's see here. So you fuckers need to watch Waco. Kalen, watch Tiger King. I need to hear Kalen's reaction on Tiger King. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, when like it's
just watch the first episode. That's it. If you don't like it, then you can at least say you tried. But the first episode was enough to suck me in and be like, I gotta watch all this right now.
All right. Well,
just watch the first episode.
Simulation's gonna get me.
The Tiger King show is a lot like back when Until Dawn came out on YouTube. I sat there and every single one of my favorite YouTubers, I had to watch their playthroughs just because I needed to see each of their own individual reactions to what was going on and who they fucked up and all that stuff. This is very similar to that, where it's just everyone's got their own take and it's fascinating just to see like individual people's takes on it.
Yeah.
What if
all right, Ryan, what was your is there anything in the media or is there anything else you saw this week that that you really, really liked or you thought was funny?
I think I have to mention it just because, and I'm going to be brief because I know you and me could talk about this for hours, Tommy. I don't know so much about Calendar and Kalen, and I don't think we've done any of this in the past one, but a little bit of sports news. And we didn't mention it since the last podcast, but Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski are now
oh my god
Buccaneers, which is hilarious. Super weird to think about. I never thought in this that we'd ever see Tom Brady as not a Patriot anymore. That's fucking weird.
The AFC South might be the best division in
NFC South
football.
Is he smelly rusty?
Yeah, and fucking Jameis Winston went over to the Saints. He's the backup for Drew Brees now. How fucking weird is that?
Where did Bridgewater go?
The Panthers. He's in the Panthers.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I think everybody just fucking jumped shit and went to the NFC South. So I mean, I'm not mad. The Falcons will get a bunch of fucking.
Whoever makes it out of that division should automatically go to the conference championship game.
Yeah, I mean, I could say, I mean, realistically, there's probably going to be 2 teams in the South that are going to be in
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
Did Brady say why he left?
I mean,
I mean, everyone was rumoring that they're like the Patriots. He was looking for. He still thinks that he's got a lot in the tank, and I think the Patriots were like, well,
apparently there was some butting of heads against him, and so there was an interesting conspiracy theory video I watched about it. And what's the fucking name of their owner again? Kraft,
the guy who jerked off.
That fucking that
Nice.
yeah, that teenage fucker. Him and Tom, you could tell by the press releases and statements said by people, him and Tom Brady have a really good relationship, and they still do. And Kraft actually had a really like personal and sentimental goodbye to Tom Brady. You didn't see that from Bill Belichick. And,
well, I feel like for me, I think it's just Bill being Bill. Like,
I agree, but a lot of the verbiage that came out was there were disagreements between the organization and Tom Brady.
Well, I just
and if you think
Bill's
that was
such
the
a
general
cold-hearted
manager,
bastard.
and if you think that was the owner, that had to have been a head coach thing.
Yeah. I just think that like Bill was like, all right, well, I don't know. I don't think he's our quarterback anymore.
Well,
So-
and Tom Brady had an arguably worse year last year than like he has in a while.
Yeah,
So,
no, I
think
agree.
a lot of it could have been Belichick's possibly thinking, okay, Brady's getting older, maybe he's attributing this to age, while Brady's saying, dude, like I've been your quarterback, I've won you 6 rings. What are you going to pay me the money or no?
He still thinks he's got a lot in the tank, and I bet he's just like, I've done so much for you. Like, why don't you trust me?
And essentially, it came down to Bill Belichick told Tom Brady, "We can give you a 1-year deal, take it or leave it." And Tom Brady said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
So I don't know much about the sports stuff of this, but I mean, I imagine Tom Brady is an expensive asset, right? And if you have a limited amount of funds,
he's
has
been known
a
to take pay
history.
cuts.
Yeah, he's taken pay cuts so they could pick up better marquee athletes.
And his wife makes so much goddamn money. I bet he doesn't give a shit about it.
Well, that's part of it.
Absolutely.
honestly, what's like 1.3 million compared to 1.5 million?
I think for me, I personally, I just think it's like him is like I wanted them to want me, and I don't think that they wanted me.
Well, and there's always been the thing of I mean, how many times have you heard it that Tom Brady's a good quarterback, but any quarterback in that system would just do what Tom Brady does? So I think Tom Brady's got a chip on his shoulder. Tom Brady's always had a chip on his shoulder. There's a really good NFL Films documentary on YouTube about Tom Brady. And the guy's the GOAT. He's top of the game, and he still plays with a chip on his shoulder, and like everyone is challenging him from like the same level.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to
win
win somewhere else. Be like, I can do it.
Exactly, so he can put to bed the rumors of Bill Belichick's the reason they want Super Bowls, or that system's the reason they want.
I mean, he went to the Bucs and they fucking suck. So I mean, it's like
so if
he can win there, he really is.
Even if he takes them to the playoffs, I think there's an argument that it's like the LeBron thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and they drafted really well, and they've picked up some huge like additions and stuff, which I'm sure Tom Brady was like wanting them to do. So
right.
I think the Bucs are automatically like they're a playoff contender now.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, they got Gronk too. I don't know.
There's even fucking rumors they're going to get Antonio Brown.
I mean, that's a rumor. I think that'd be crazy if he was able to lure him out.
That would be probably the scariest wide receiver core I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, well, they got fucking Mike Evans, Godwin, Brown, and then you got Gronk. Holy shit. And they have two other good tight ends, too. They're going to have to trade one of those tight ends.
Well, and what's their running back's name? They have a pretty good running back, too.
Yeah, who's their fucking running back?
Looking it up now.
Yeah, they got a good one, too. It's a good team. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how this season goes. What?
Peyton Barber, and they have Ronald Jones.
All right, well, those are okay, actually. Yeah, they might have drafted a running back.
They probably did.
Anyways, yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Just because I think that, like, that's I know we don't do.
Can we talk about how funny it is that a kicker got drafted before what's his name?
Jake Fromm. He almost went undrafted. You know,
a kicker with a legitimate anti-government pro-gun tattoo.
Yeah, dude, that is hilarious. Oh my god,
he has an
can we talk
alt-right
about that guy
tattoo
too?
on his arm, and he got drafted before Georgia's quarterback.
Dude, that guy is crazy, man. I looked at all his tattoos. That guy is nuts. How did the Patriots think that? Like, I guess he is the best kicker, but holy shit!
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's got an alt-right tattoo. And then he puts out like a press release, and he's just like, "Yeah, I went through college, not being able to afford to cover it up. With my first paycheck, I've already got the tattoo artist booked."
But dude, honestly, like it's not just that tattoo. All his tattoos are like angsty, fucking Monster Energy drink, super angsty tattoos. They're hilarious.
So gross.
I love it.
So there's a Nebraska cornerback named Lamar Jackson, and he actually just got traded. I think it was either to the Jets or the Bills. And so there's a Lamar Jackson as a quarterback and a cornerback on that team now.
Ooh, interesting. Very confusing.
No, excuse me. Sorry, because Lamar Jackson plays for the Ravens. He's in the same division as the Ravens. I don't remember if that's the Bills or the Jets. Anyways, one of the running joke is that Lamar Jackson's probably going to pick off Lamar Jackson, and it was just like a meme.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, no, we could definitely like spend like 5 hours.
Oh, I know. We
talking
need to
about
stop
sports.
because I just thought it was like literally like that's something that needed to be talked about because
I mean
like
that's
Tom
LeBron James going to the Miami Heat of the sports
it's
world.
such a huge news story that he's a Buccaneer now.
I'm excited to see it. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Again, I don't watch the NFL after playing fantasy football for so many years. I like the Falcons. I like a lot of different teams, but like I just watch it to see the players play at this point, and it's honestly such a refreshing way to watch the NFL because you don't get let down.
Yeah, because you'll get let down.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're an Atlanta sports fans. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Anyways, moving on. That's pretty much all I really had to talk about.
I have something.
Kalen. Oh, Hunter. Yes.
So, do you guys think that Kim Jong-un is actually dead? Do you think he's just in a vegetative state? Or do you think he's alive? And we all just don't know anything about North Korea? Because apparently, I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
So there's reports that his personal train has been seen at his vacation home by a beach. But if North Korea is anything like their best friend China, China's how China is. China's like the whole like, hey, I heard you talking shit, so I'm gonna go talk to this person, that person, and that person to start rumors about you. And they blow everything out of proportion when it's not really that big of a deal. And they try all these stupid bullshit tactics, and it's such overblown bullshit. I think North Korea is taking a page out of China's playbook. I think Kim Jong-un, while not technically dead, is in a vegetative state to the degree that he may not recover from it. So North Korean officials sent the train there and are doing whatever they can to divert the fact that the supreme leader is essentially in a coma.
Do you think he got the coronavirus?
I don't think so.
No, I do. I think the coronavirus probably, because apparently, the obesity is a big problem when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I maybe it wasn't the coronavirus that killed him, or maybe it was maybe it set off his heart problems and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised because we know it's in North Korea.
How old is he?
Yeah, but he's had health problems before.
He doesn't look that old.
I think he's early 40s, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
I'm assuming that if he's not dead, he's close to death because I don't see there's any benefit from
Kim Jong-un is 36 years
Jesus
old.
Christ.
And he did miss the most. Two of the most powerful days in North Korean history.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to gain from them hiding. What would it take? 5 seconds of him just being like, hey,
5 hours
I'm
ago,
alive.
South Korea says Kim Jong-un is alive and well, according to CNN.
But why don't they just show him? Be like, here's Kim, or have him say, I'm
when
fine.
has North Korea ever done anything that made sense, right?
But what do they gain from hiding him? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, he could have just got heart surgery. I mean, I don't.
Are they just trolling the
world? It takes a while for you to
doing?
recover from that. You don't want to make an appearance while you're still using a
But
gun.
then have him sitting in the bed, be like, "I'm okay, like
Yeah,
I'm recovering."
That looks weak, though.
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
where the
They do
media
treat him like he's a
blackout
god.
comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that to the North Korean people literally doesn't shit.
Wait,
That's
really?
true.
Like,
Yeah, I guess.
that's the extent of brainwashing. See, you can't even have him pictured in a hospital, let alone sitting in the bed looking weak and pale.
All right, hang on. This is what I want from this then. I want him to come back after he's recovered and then make up some crazy story about how he ascended into the heavens, met with God, they had a conversation, he came back down, and that's why he wasn't there for a while.
Like he is forcing God to stop the spread of the
Yeah, he
coronavirus.
talked to God, said we got to stop the coronavirus, and they were having a meeting.
I will say, apparently, it has been noted that Dennis Rodman is very upset about the whole situation.
Okay,
So-
I'm glad we cleared that.
Can we get Dennis Rodman on the phone and see what he has to say about this?
Yeah, let's get him on.
I don't think there is a god to the North Koreans. I think it is Kim Jong-un as the god.
Yeah, but like
king.
he had some heavenly duties like he had to do, or maybe not.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
talked-
Yeah, like some
bullshit.
Dragon Ball Z shit. Like he had to
Yeah.
go run along the dragon's path or something.
Yeah, like he maybe like he was had a quick.
He had to go
little-
train with King Kai to be able to defeat the coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. He had a little run-in with it, but he had to go, do some crazy godly stuff.
He had to go collect the Dragon Ball.
I want some lore. I want them to come out with a press conference where they just talk about some crazy shit that he did.
The North Korean lore.
I legitimately want them to find people that look like Krillin and Goku and all that to come out holding Dragon Balls and have an entire press conference.
I want the headband, like the orange suit and everything when he comes out. Like,
Kim Jong-un's just wearing weighted clothes.
I want it. I want it so bad. I'd be so happy.
Do you
that'd
think
be
that
excellent.
if he was actually dead or in a vegetative state, and is it his sister?
Yeah, I think
His
it's
sister's not bad looking either.
Oh,
Do you
no.
do you think that like a female dictator is going to be like as ruthless and like? Do you think she's still just going to be chopping off heads, or do you think she's going to bring
I
like a
mean,
little bit of a liberal?
She's coming from that bloodline and she grew up in that kind of culture. So, like, I don't necessarily think it's the fact that she's a woman that's going to drive her to do any of that if she does. It's going to be the fact that there's been a regime for 80 years and, like, that's all she's known and that's all her parents have known and that's all her grandparents have known. It's going to be the fact that there's been a regime for 80 years and, like, that's all she's known and that's all her parents have known and that's all her grandparents have known. Like,
Well,
imagine
she's
living in
actually
a
not that
country
bad.
where you're looked at as literally a deity and how much that would fuck with your head growing up as a child.
Do you think they're going to let her take over? Do you think North Korea is going to let a woman take over North Korea?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I don't know their views.
Are they progressive when it comes to women?
I don't know.
See, I don't
Maybe
think
they
it has to
just
do with
treat everyone like they're
progressiveness. I
equal.
think that has to do with, like, deity bloodline.
So it's just straight up bloodline. This is it.
I mean, you look at Roman, like, old cultures like that. There were like
I don't know
goddesses.
if that's apples to apples comparison there.
I mean, that's fair, but, like, there was a very male-driven society. And they even had goddesses that people worshipped. So, I mean, it's a weird... It's weird. I don't know.
Do you think Donald Trump is going to be like tweeting at her and calling her fat and like? Do you think that's?
Did you see the meme where Donald Trump apparently called Kim Jong-un and told him the cure for coronavirus was injecting yourself with bleach, and that's why Kim Jong-un's dead?
Got him.
That'd be some good North Korean lore.
Epic
there.
prank.
Would that save Donald Trump's presidency if he successfully assassinated Kim Jong-un himself?
I mean,
Hunter, you'll be excited to know. What's her name? Kim Yo Young. Studied computer science.
Oh,
So
God.
you could bond over that.
yeah, you should message her. Slide into those DMs. She actually is kind of cute.
Where did she
man.
study? I think Kim went to college in Sweden. Did she go to college in Sweden too?
Switzerland. They both went to Switzerland from 96 to 2000.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, she went to military university, and she also studied computer science at Kim Il Sung University, where she said to have studied with Kim Young, the daughter of Japanese abductee Myung Megumi Yokota.
That means
Good.
that means nothing to me.
That was good.
Do they fuck? Do you think they fuck?
Dude, I bet it's very
Incestuously?
passionate fucking too. I bet they're tearing it up in fucking Switzerland.
No. I mean the family, like Kim Jong's family.
Like, do they fuck each
No,
other?
no. They have so much pull that they don't need to resort to incest.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying with each other. Do you think that they fuck like they fuck?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
What
dude.
else do you have to
Dude,
do?
that 4 years that they weren't in North Korea, they were fucking everyone that moved. It's just like that period in Amish culture where you can leave and like come back if you want to.
Yeah.
You got Rumspringa.
3-month window.
But like, do you think people do they have significant others? Are there like how's that work? What does Kim Jong have a wife?
No, he points at a woman and says, "Hey, do you want to eat this week? Get over here."
I mean, he has 2 sons, I believe.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I guess
He has
that's
2 sons. One's just super young or something like that, and that's why they're saying he's going to get passed over for his sister instead. And then that's going to bring up the thing on, well, if his sister takes over and does a great job or does all this shit, why would she give up her power to his son if his son comes of age?
No.
Yeah, he's got a wife.
Dude,
he's the first lady of Korea.
He had like a half brother that was like apparently more of like a rightful heir to the throne than he was. And when he consolidated power, he killed him to make sure that wouldn't happen. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe she'll do the same thing, and like the second she takes over, like just kill all of his sons.
Well, and here's the scary thing too, and it goes back to there was a theory back in World War II where there was a mission to kill Hitler, and it was with the explosives in the bunker, Valkyrie or something like that. Anyways, there was a theory amongst people like at the time where they almost were tempted not to assassinate Hitler because the people that were in charge under him were insanely more competent than he was when it come to military strategy. So it begs the question of, if you killed Hitler, if Goebbels or Goring came in charge, how much more terrifying of a military would it be because it was somebody that actually studied strategy? And in this same way, you have this fucking weird-ass goofball that's Kim Jong-un, who, don't get me wrong, commits war crimes, and there's terrible things that go on in North Korea. But so far has had a pretty, I don't want to say insignificant world presence, but like, they haven't attacked South Korea in X many years, and they haven't gone to war or battled anyone in X many years. If Kim Jong-un dies, who's saying that somebody doesn't come in charge that's willing to do these things?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if she's just ready to fucking like hold the sickle with both hands and just fucking, go at it?
I mean, it's possible. It just depends on what China and Russia want to do with how they want North Korea to behave. Because North Korea wouldn't last without both of their support. At all.
It's going to be interesting, man.
They're definitely the little brother in that situation.
I wonder how long they're going to try and hold up like the facade that he's okay. Or I wonder if he is okay. I don't know anything.
How do you guys... Okay, this is a little bit off topic. How do you guys feel about the fact that Doom Eternal soundtrack wasn't mixed by Mick Gordon?
I don't.
Kalen, this may be more towards you.
I mean, I'm aware of it, but I don't know if I have like strong feelings if I want to die on this hill.
I mean, I don't know if it's dying on that hill, but this is a guy that Doom's 2016 had one of the best game soundtracks, in my opinion, of all time. And then for you to sit there and not put the composer that made that into your new game, I don't.
I mean, they did. He just wasn't able to mix it, which made it really flat.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, well, a lot of things are designed by committee. So
I know we weren't really around for the fall of Fallout 76, but there's a new story that's coming out.
Oh no! Where
in Fallout 76, new NPCs, they added new NPCs into the game, and if it seems to happen occasionally during events, if a player is killed with a friendly NPC nearby, that NPC will then grab the dead player's best weapon and will never give it back to that player.
God damn it. Fuck you, Bethesda. What are you doing? Like, what are they just trying to shit all over their fan base? I mean,
oh my god.
Well, I don't get it. Like, there's been so much controversy with this game. Just stop doing these things.
Just
Or maybe they're just like trying to get everybody's expectations down super low because they know like the next Elder Scrolls game is going to suck. So like, well, I mean, we knew 76 sucked, so I mean, we should have expected this.
just keep buying Skyrim. Buy it like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, then they'll just be like, all right. Well, guess what? Guess what? Now here's a new Skyrim, but it's for your butt plug.
This one's for your smart
And-
fridge.
Yeah, your smart fridge, and you can play it even when you're not at home. Or how about like how about Skyrim, but it's for your car. So while you're driving your car, you can play Skyrim.
Nice.
I like the voice activated one through Alexa. I thought that was
That was a funny video, but it's just like, come on, stop making Skyrim.
It's
We know
bad.
the
And
mobile
honestly,
version-
Bethesda's gone so far downhill these past few years. Like, they've always been like, I really enjoyed. I didn't get on the Bethesda bandwagon until late, like Fallout 3 late, because I know there was like Oblivion and Morrowind. I never really played all those at the time because I didn't have a PC. But I mean, I thought Fallout 3 is still. I mean, I'm looking at nostalgia goggles, but Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
I'm with you on that as well. And Tommy, clarification: you did have a PC that could somehow run everything, despite being like $300.
Yeah, I had an HP. I had a notebook PC. My parents got me for like $350, and literally, I was like, I don't know how that computer did the things it did. Like, God help that computer.
Dude, that's how my computer was before this one. It was a giant piece of shit that was like 10 years old, but I could still run lots of games on like high settings. I'm like, how is this possible?
I didn't understand.
Doesn't
I
make
mean,
any
it was
sense.
a laptop, and I
did better on Counter-Strike. I was in the top 15th percentile, 15% percentile of Counter-Strike at one point, playing off that laptop, and now I've got a 144 hertz monitor, and I can actually run the game at higher than like 45 FPS, and now I'm like in the bottom like 99%. And I attribute that maybe to age. I don't know.
Yeah, you just don't have that elite posture of hunched over that coffee table in the musty basement.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Those were the days.
those were terrible.
Good times.
Just sleeping in my parents' basement on a bare mattress, just unemployed. It was great.
Forgot about those times.
Just 19, unemployed, playing Counter-Strike 9 hours a day every day.
Yeah.
God, my parents must have fucking hated me, dude.
Yeah. And you wonder why they're not so supportive of your Twitch career.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not mooching off them now, to be
That's
fair.
true.
So.
That's true.
They also happen to move 17 and a half hours away from me, so, like, I don't want to say that's the reason why. But, I don't know, they've been pushing really hard for me to move back, or move there.
Are you gonna move to
Well, maybe
Nebraska?
they just think your Twitch stream is blowing
Yeah.
up. We got to get that famous sun near us.
Yeah, we got to get our son back. I mean, theoretically, it would be cheaper for me to live with them, and I could continue streaming for probably $500 to $600 a month.
You just gonna
So,
tell your
it'll be-
girlfriend to move in with your parents?
No,
I don't think that's the
listen.
right way to go.
I'm just saying, you know, if
Oh,
shit
no.
really hit the fan in my life, and a lot of terrible things happened, I could continue my career, which would be nice.
It's always
Very
good
good.
to hold in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just moving back in with your parents at like 25, just, you know, really good.
A lot of people are doing it, man.
Good
I don't
stuff.
think there's really any shame
mean-
in it these days.
That's fair. That's fair. I've just lived that path before, and it's just not great.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. There would just be no way. I'd rip my eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fault of my parents or anything. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would lose my mind.
Yep.
I have a funny story about your dad a little bit, Kalen. I don't know if I
no.
mentioned it to you or not.
Oh no.
But me and Elizabeth went over and picked up the car, and we social
Hang on,
distance
We're
ourselves.
finishing on?
Wait, what?
So we're finishing on?
We could.
I think it'd be a great way to finish it.
So me and Elizabeth drive to go pick up my new car from Kalen's parents, who I bought it from, and we social distance ourselves, 6 feet away. We didn't shake hands or anything. I wanted to, but we can't. You're trying to keep everyone healthy. And your dad has such a way of just forcefully ending conversations, and it's kind of like an art, Kalen. Because your mom and I like could sit there and talk for hours. Your mom is a very chatty woman, and that's great. I love talking to your parents. But like, okay, back when I first went and test drove the car, we were sitting and your dad got home from work, and your mom and I were chatting. And immediately within 5 minutes of coming in, he's like, I don't want to say your mom's name, but he's like, we need to let Tommy go. It's getting dark out. And he's like, basically, he's just like, stop talking and let him leave. And so I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I go test drive the car and come back, and he's like, well, let me know. Well, this time around, we're outside talking for like 5 minutes, and we're chatting, and your dad's like, well, it's time you need to take your car home. Go inside. And then like him and your mom just turn around and just start walking back towards the house.
Goodness. What?
And there's such an art to it. Like it was the most alpha thing I'd ever seen in my life.
That's pretty alpha.
Like, it was just like, this conversation's done. You're going your way. I'm going my way. It was a good talk. Like, it was the equivalent of like the sports coach slapping you on the ass saying, better luck next time, kid, is kind of how I felt about it.
I mean, I know my dad has that way of like wanting to just go to bed and being able to end the conversation. Usually more subtle than that.
Your parents said they were kind of going insane, though, because there's no sports. Your dad was talking about how he's watching, like, Canadian hacky sack on TV, and he started getting into it.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, he's been telling me about all their adventures being quarantined and how he's just doing the weirdest things, such as, like, the Canadian hacky sack tournament. And he's just watching these really oddball shows. I can't remember exactly, from like the 60s space. It's not Battlestars before that.
You should try to get your dad to start running erotic literature.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dude, yeah. I was hoping that story was going to be something like, we were doing the deal and he just let out the most uncomfortable sounding fart or something.
He walked out in a bathrobe and it opened up. It was...
Yeah. It just flashed my girlfriend.
It was huge, dude.
I think off that topic, just to end it, how's everyone's parents handling the virus? How's everyone's parents handling Corona? Like, a lighthearted, nothing super deep,
well,
but like,
you've talked to my parents more than I have.
I mean, that's fair.
But I think they're
my mom calls me all the time.
Yeah, they're calling me practically like every other day.
They're just so bored. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom calls me a couple times a week or so, just to.
But
chat.
I did get my dad to get an Xbox. And he's been playing the Master Chief Collection, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
We'll have to get your dad to join us on one of these games one time.
Yeah, I'll get him on the stream.
Get him to buy a gaming PC, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What? Get him into WoW again. Then you can have the addiction with your dad.
Yeah. I'll get my dad to start Twitch streaming.
Dude, easy. Hell yeah, bro.
My dad actually sent me a TikTok yesterday. I think he
has
a TikTok, so that's interesting.
Wait, what kind of TikTok was it?
It was just some boomer humor, honestly. It was just some
So that's so far beyond what my parents could ever comprehend. Like, they don't even know what Vine was. Like, I don't think they know what Instagram is or Twitter.
No.
So,
my mom uses Facebook 10 hours a day. That's about it.
Oh, God, it's so bad. I got a call from my dad the other day, and he was telling me about how upset he made my sister because he made like a it was very boomer humor-esque about like essentially like something to do with coronavirus and like like a Chinese man, and apparently it very much upset my sister. And he basically called me to like gloat about how much it upset my sister because of her like liberal views.
Own the libs.
Like, her and my uncle, like my dad and my uncle just torment the shit out of my sister because she's very left leaning, and like my uncle's just a Marine, and like, dude, like, I love Doug, but like, fuck me if some of the things he said are like some of the most inappropriate, just out there things. Like, we'll be playing poker, and he'll just say the most off the wall, off-color joke just to get a rise out of Erica. And like, oh my God. Fucking boomers, dude. Like, what you can't live with them, you can't live without them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think your dad purposely challenges your sister.
I mean, I get a lot of my personality from my dad, so if that's any inkling towards for the listeners to take, that's imagine my personality and a boomer, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, your dad is the evolved form of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. All right, so homework for next week. What, Kalen? You need to watch Tiger King. Hunter and Ryan, you guys need to watch Waco. I think Davis has already seen Waco.
Notice how Tommy didn't assign anything to him?
Yeah, Tommy, what's your homework?
Let's see. I'll find a new documentary or a TV series to watch, and I'll report in on it or something. I don't know. I've been trying to. Me and Elizabeth are thinking about. Ryan and Gray have been doing a lot of co-op streams, so I think me and Elizabeth are going to try to do a co-op. She's never played like any video games in her life,
Ooh,
and I've been trying to. And she's played like Breath of the Wild a little bit, but it's kind of like she just gets really frustrated with it. So I think we're gonna take it another step down, and I think I'm gonna buy Animal Crossing, and I'm gonna have her like play Animal Crossing with me on stream for her to like, because Breath of the, in terms of complexity, Animal Crossing's pretty on the easy scale.
Yeah, I will say though, because me and Gray tried Animal Crossing on stream, there's a huge LP tax on that. What
do you mean?
I just don't think it translated well. And it's one of those games too where it's based on real time. So if you're not playing at a designated time, you can't do certain things.
Oh, that's weird.
We started playing at nighttime, and there was nothing we could do because Tom Nook's store isn't open, or
oh shit.
Yeah, so it's
that's why a lot of people have been like going into their settings and like changing the time on their system and stuff.
And I Animal Crossing would be good. I don't know.
So I also played Animal Crossing a little bit, and there was just nothing to do. You go through the first day, and you get like 20 minutes in, and then you just hit a wall. Then you have to wait
because it is based on real time, and there's like you have to wait till the next day before a certain shop opens. Right?
It seems weird.
I mean, that's how it was. It's how it's always been. It's based on real time.
I don't remember the old.
Even the GameCube one was?
Absolutely. I still remember me and Garrison being like, all right, well, we're done. We would get up early in the morning so that we could. Like,
I just went into my GameCube settings and changed the fucking time.
No, I don't disagree with that, but they don't block you. Like, you can access the whole island right at the get-go and talk to people and explore it. But now here, you talk to 3 people, they say one line of text, and then they're complete. And you can only access this tiny part, and it slowly gets larger and larger. But like, it kind of gates you a little bit too much, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm.
Well, I think they're doing it on purpose because I've noticed it's kept because Gray's still playing it all the time. It's kept her interested. Like she'll play for like 6 hours a day, and then like she'll be like, "Well, I'm excited for tomorrow because tomorrow I get to do X and X."
Yeah, maybe.
I think we're used to like getting what we want now. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a true statement there.
And so maybe for somebody with a more relaxed more relaxed point of view, it probably is a lot easier to get into and like get lost in the world. Versus us, where it's just like, I need it now. Like, why the fuck isn't this happening now? Like, I've got to go into my computer settings and change this time. This is bullshit. So like, I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting, but
give it a shot.
Yeah, that's fair. If you guys have a game you think my girlfriend would enjoy, I'm gonna regret saying this. Feel free. Feel free to stop. Yeah, that was. Oh god, now we're just gonna get infiltrated with Sims. Anyways, you could catch Kalen. Do you have any plugs you'd like to plug?
New TV shows, anything?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, is there any way you want people to reach out? Okay, so you could catch Kalen and I doing our Pokemon Fire Red randomizer Let's Play on YouTube. He's a pretty active person in the on the Twitch stream at Captain Milne, twitch.tv/Captain Milne.
Still something I don't have mod though.
Oh yeah. You want mod? Yeah, it's because you're bad, Kalen.
Nah.
When you stop being bad, you'll get mod.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like how Kalen, or it's how Anthony is still grinching my phone like 6 years later. Absolutely. I hold grudges, Kalen.
I gave you a
Ryan.
then.
You can catch Ryan at twitch.tv.
/Crash Carl.
2 H's.
Yes, that is something new I probably should have talked about, but it's too late for that.
Yeah. Now, you can't always change your Twitch name if the Crash Carl with 1 H becomes available or what have you.
Yeah, I could, and I'd like to, but fuck that dick.
That's fair. Is there anything else you'd like to plug?
Not really. I don't have any social media anymore, so...
That's fair.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Hunter, how about you?
Yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn at well, I'm not going to say mine.
Looking for jobs.
Yeah, I'm not going to say my real
Yeah,
name.
don't say your name. That's a terrible
Follow me on
idea.
LinkedIn at coding. You can catch my my Java tutorial streams on twitch.com/coding, where I take scissor throughout the whole lesson until I just kind of collapse. And yeah, shout out to God, shout out to Weston.
Yeah, shout out to Weston. If there's anything you take from this this podcast, shout out to Weston.
And praise God.
And praise God, excuse me. Sorry. Just the feelings of Weston overwhelmed me so much.
Yeah, I know that shit's rough.
All right, guys, but we'll see you guys on the next podcast, and take it easy, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Big shout out to our Patreon supporters, KLSK1, Garrison Coley, TrueX23, and Ziggy Storm. Thank you, guys.